Hello everyone, today I'm going to be taking a look at the latest in the Undaunted series from Osprey Games. This is Undaunted Battle of Britain by David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin. Okay, so we're back to a standard Undaunted box after the massive Stalingrad expansion. This is slightly different again. You can see it's all about the Battle of Britain. It's 1940 and the few are up against the many, and this time on a hex map. So it contains 116 cards, 31 hex tiles, 4 dice, your tokens and scenario booklet. If I just pop this off. Start at the start. We have 2 books. So the rulebook itself, which is interesting for our first departure from land battles with Undaunted. Some of the terminology, if you've played before, hunker down cannot be used, your components, cards and how to read a card. So interesting thing about this is I believe that planes always move regardless whenever a card is activated. So for the smaller fighters, it obviously makes sense. Whoever's the pilot has the relevant move stat. But when you get into bigger things like bombers, I believe every crew member has a move on it. So every time a crew member activates, the plane itself is moving around, I think. I'll double check as we go through here. But we have combat counters and decoys. We also have things like ships, structure markers, barrage balloons, and then your setup. So fighting over the coast. There's also new card types, Discord and Going Dark. So very short booklet. The depth of Undaunted comes not through a ton of rules, but through how you apply them. So 23 pages of rules. Then we have our scenario book. So there is a campaign play of a type. You get advantage or disadvantage through winning, or if it's a stalemate, then no go. Your standard deck size, and then set up for your first scenario. So scenarios we have, where are we? 11, finishing with the culmination, the Battle of Britain itself, which is quite nice. All hands on deck for that. Obviously, with a dogfighting game, you're not going to get a massive change in terrain, so the scenario is more important as to what you're doing with it. We have 3 sets of tokens then. Okay. Let's start with this. So 2mm cardstock, satin finish, as standard for Undaunted. We have Hurricanes, Defiance and Spitfire on the first, with our barrage balloons, some clouds and some presumably objective markers or round tokens anyway. Our second has got another Spitfire, in fact several Spitfires, BF 109s across the board, and a few ships as well, and AA. And our last has got .110s, Henkels, a lot of Henkels, and some Stukas, and a few more ships / boats. So 3 sets of card Then we have our hex tiles. I'm not going to count all of those, but you've got two sets, essentially. A set of 2, 4, 5, a set of 5 3-hex pieces that are water and land on the obverse, and then a more substantial 5-hex set, which have got your coastline, including ports, harbours and the like, or again, open water. Open water doesn't really matter. Your coastline is all lettered, just lettered, just lettered. So 26 of those, because it's got letters on it, thankfully. And then our additional pieces to make your map up. They fit very snugly into that little map section. I like. We have your standard 4 black D10 for your combat. And then we have our 2 decks. So one deck substantially bigger than the other. I say substantially, probably about a fifth bigger, which is the German deck. We'll have a look at that first. So you have squadron comms, select comms for each of the different squadrons. And we have some of our pilots, so move, maneuver and attack. And these are more like the original Undaunted, where, more like the North African Undaunted, where everybody is a named fellow. So that's quite nice, which makes sense when you've got aces. You want them to be individuals, not whole squads. If we find something a bit beefier, where's my Henkels? Or Henkel, rather. But anyway, so move 1, maneuver, attack and bomb. Are they the same for all of them? Yeah, but there's a lot more cards for the Henkel. So you're getting 4 cards for a bomber. 1, 2, 3. 3 cards for a fighter. But then the fighters move further by themselves. So the bomber has more opportunity to move, but it moves a shorter amount. And I believe turns are your maneuvers. So that's why those fighters have a teardrop shape to them. So you have arcs, which makes sense. So that's quite nice. Your fog of war becomes discord in here for the Germans. Then the RAF and Allies. Smaller deck, but specific thing in game. So a slight change from the standard that we've come to expect from David and Trevor, but I'm looking forward to playing it. Contents are really well produced, as you would expect to see from Osprey. They're long enough in the tooth, and at this stage they've got plenty of opportunity to iron out the wrinkles. So yeah, the Battle of Britain for Undaunted. Let me know what you think of it below, folks. I'm going to start popping tokens out and try and drag a Shay into a gaming area and have a few games. Until next time, bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.